Appreciate you coming to see us. Cool. So this session is called Smart Workplaces with Crestron, relating to XiO Cloud. Thank you to Microsoft for organising these sessions. The session is about modern meeting rooms, expectations and the future of in-person collaboration and meeting room management. So my name is Max Davies. I'm the Director of Enterprise and UC for Crestron, and I've been at Crestron for a number of years, but prior to Crestron, I was in the consulting field and was lucky enough to consult for some of the largest organisations in the region and also in the globe for their workplace technology and some of their collaboration needs. And so we've got a lot of stuff going on at Integrate this week. If you are interested in coming to see us down on the show floor, you can't miss us. We're one of the largest stands down on there. We've been calling it the Crestron Castle for a couple of days now. Been a bit crazy, a lot of people coming there. We haven't thrown anybody into the moat just yet, but I'm sure we will at some point. We'd like to show you some truly innovative products. We've got some fantastic new products in the Flex range. We've got some new products around room scheduling, some desk scheduling solutions, and also some camera solutions relating to our Sightline range as well. So keen to show you what we can do. So what qualifications do we have to talk about such a subject of smart meeting rooms? What kind of charlatan are we? So I work for the largest workplace technology organisation on the planet. Crestron has existed for about 50 years. And we have started out from a control environment, and we've done a lot of work around audiovisual historically, a little bit before the wibbly wobbly world of UC came and joined us a couple of years ago. So obviously the world has turned on its head a little bit, and we've seen quite a bit of change in the world. But Crestron has a 20-year relationship with Microsoft, and we've been building in Microsoft products into our products for a long, long time now. Indeed, we were the first manufacturer to do Crestron to do scheduling with Microsoft over 10 years ago. So we're very proud to be continuing with that relationship. And we've seen that workplace technology and collaboration has actually gone from what would be a nice to have in the environment to actually quite a utility. People expect workplace technology to work all the time. Typically, people only ever complain about two things in a meeting room. They complain about the temperature and the audiovisual not working. And so we want to make sure that we can at least get one of those things right. So Crestron is the leader in workplace technology across all verticals. Key technologies including digital media, NBX, Flex, virtual control, XiO Cloud, which we're going to talk about today, all of which are built on a very strong Microsoft base. We have 4,000 employees. A quarter of those are engineers who invest and productize solutions that change the way we work and live. Our products are designed and manufactured in the USA. We ship 3.5 million products containing 3.2 billion components every year. And as a research and development engineering organization, we are seeking to change the way that people work by removing friction in the workplace. As a manufacturer, we have only over 1 million square feet of, which is 9 hectares of dedicated manufacturing space across multiple sites. And we make our own hardware because that allows us to make reliable and secure products. Our products are found in all the organizations that employ us. Our solutions allow us to meet, collaborate, and move effectively to the workplace. We are trusted with blue chip organizations all the way through to NASA. In fact, when the Curiosity rover landed on Mars, internal communications were done on Crestron hardware, and the first pictures being back were actually viewed on Crestron MBX in that control room. So we truly are working absolutely everywhere. Our value proposition, of course, is one of an ecosystem that is built to work together. We are simple to deploy. We are easy to use. And secure by design is very, very important in these worlds where obviously we've moved away from the office and we're working remotely. And the security of a lot of the solutions that we utilize have really been under a huge amount of scrutiny recently. And 50 years in the industry. So we've been informed by experience. And we're a product ecosystem that is closely aligned with Microsoft. So the modern workplace is a very complex place. We have significant changes in both technology and also the way it's utilized. And when we saw people moving out of offices into the homes when COVID occurred, we saw some significant changes when they came back into the office. And whilst we often talk about hybrid, really in our world, that's meant just a huge amount of technology being deployed at scale. It's been quite a challenge for a lot of organizations to adopt that technology and critically about how to manage it. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. Hybrid work is really trying to stipulate equal experiences across all sectors of meetings and in experiences in the workplace. And our technologies have really been critical to enable that to happen. One sector that we really do try and assist is the IT sector supporting these technologies. And we've seen a lot of challenges around how that's happened recently. And we're seeing a lot of noise around these sort of messages. Are your offices worth the commute, and whether or not our leaders are ready for hybrid working, and is the technology working, and do we have a proper products around and production values around hybrid and those type of things. It's been a very challenging time for organizations to adopt, and there's been increasing pressure placed on the technology in those environments. A lot of organizations really did hit the go button very quickly on technology, but often without really the thought for how it was going to be managed. And as we've already said, the utility aspect and the always-on capability that's required for audiovisual and collaboration in the meeting room really meant that it's been quite a challenge for us. We really want to sort of look at making sure that the office is worth the commute, because there's a lot of real estate pressure that means that organizations want to come back into the office. But we go further to say, let's not waste that commute. Let's make sure that when we're actually in the office, that the devices that we're using to collaborate actually do work. It's a very critical part of the journey that our clients are talking to us about. Because technology is everywhere in the workplace. This is a fairly typical sign of what we see in the organisations these days. We've got everything from Teams phones to MTRs. We've got BYOD. Room and desk scheduling is obviously a key part of what is very critical in the workplace at the moment. Digital signage tells us where we're going, what we're doing, how to find desks and those type of things. And the sort of making that workplace a destination by giving us sort of display tools, things like digital processes, video walls. And we're seeing much more of an IT-based shift into the way that audiovisual and collaboration is working as well. We're seeing server-based technologies, cloud-based technologies, and IoT management solutions such as XiO Cloud, which are now really quite critical in ensuring that the workplace is moving efficiently. We kind of dive into all of that, we can actually see that we kind of lift the lid on what's going on in that workplace. It's a very complex place. Even from a Crestron perspective, we've got small meeting rooms that can typically literally just be an MTR on the desk. But we're seeing our clients want to pair that with room scheduling, for example, because they want to make sure that those rooms are highly available. Our Air Media products, which is featuring Miracast and wireless connectivity, is allowing organizations to collaborate better. We're seeing custom spaces with control, we're seeing reconfigurable spaces, and certainly we're seeing a huge amount of those big, larger spaces wanting to be equipped with technology these days. As the confidence increased in Teams and in MTRs in the workplace, people now want to move to more hybrid meetings, hybrid events, and those type of things. So we're starting to see that our clients are becoming more exacting. They're very happy now with MTRs. They understand what they do. And to some extent, they understand what they need to do to manage those environments, including even the OS and software versions that's within that. But a lot of the clients we're talking to are moving a little bit further from that discussion, and they want to link into things like proper monitoring solutions, linking into solutions like ServiceNow to integrate into their environment, and then integrating these solutions into things like BMS, into applications, leveraging APIs and those type of things. Because as the workplace becomes a destination, we need to ensure that we've got all the tools that are made available to us to not only make sure that the environment is working for us, but the workplace as a destination is becoming a tool for these organizations to attract people not only back to work, but actually for those organizations as well. We hear a lot about the war for talent. The war for talent is very real. Certainly in this region, there is a skills gap in many of the organizations that we serve. And a lot of these organizations are really trying to bring all people back into the office and offer them tools that work for them. So we link in to Microsoft at all levels. So obviously the MTR in the room, the scheduling is a Microsoft product as well. Our virtual control platform integrates into BMS and those type of environments. And then XiO Cloud, which is the subject of today's conversation, is our IoT monitoring and deployment platform, which has really become the critical part of the monitoring and managing those environments. We have a lot of organizations now that really start from a monitoring first perspective. They're looking at their systems and starting with how they will support it, and they'll then filter down into how designing those rooms to ensure that they are fit for their employees. So a brief plug on Crestron's range in that Microsoft space. The Flex range has been in market for a number of years now, and it still remains to be the most comprehensive Microsoft offering from any manufacturer there at the moment. So everything from Teams displays, Teams phones, on-desk phones, through to small, medium, and large meeting spaces. We've got some exciting news around Microsoft certified BYOD coming very shortly as well, which we're very excited to be working directly with Microsoft on to bring that BYOD experience into the meeting room. But where we really shine as an organization and the legacy of our control and automation background is being able to facilitate those large multi-purpose meeting spaces that enable us to do things like lecture theatres, town hall spaces, and big boardrooms. And the Crestron C series has been very critical in all of that. And overlay that with a BYOD capability alongside Microsoft native capability, that's a very, very powerful tool that most of our clients are using at the moment. And of course, we're all very now familiar with room scheduling, the ability to book and manage a space. We've recently introduced desk scheduling, which is going to leverage Microsoft on launch in a couple of months' time. So very excited to be continuing that journey with Microsoft. But let's come back to the challenge at hand. As we talk about the AV-IT challenge of managing at scale, we've had an amazing success story, I think you'll agree, in this industry about provisioning technology everywhere. But the challenge, unfortunately, is that disparate hardware is difficult to manage. Our clients have thousands of rooms globally, and some of our clients actually have thousands of rooms just in New South Wales alone. We're doing a lot of work with government in this region. And the challenge, of course, is that now we have all of these rooms being provisioned, but most people are not thinking about the management at the time of design. The challenge is further compounded, of course, is that pretty much every organisation and every vendor has got their own management solution. And you know, we're kind of running out of time really to talk about every collaboration solution, every AV solution has got some kind of cloud management tool that can do everything. And we know that our clients, our service providers, our integrators are really struggling with this at the moment. It's very rare to find a single brand working throughout an entire organization. And it's also rare to find that that management tool will actually meet all the requirements of that organization. So we've worked very hard to be able to solve some of those problems. And yes, it's an ongoing discussion, but the result of our 5-year collaboration with Microsoft came to XiO Cloud. So XiO Cloud was built on an idea to leverage a legacy of control and monitoring that Crestron's been undertaking for a long part of our history. We had a product to market called Fusion, which we still actually do support. So it was an on-premise solution that was able to monitor devices. We were able to use that very effectively for complex spaces, but we saw a need for the device monitoring to be specific to those devices, and also to take that journey a little bit further to enable us to do much more with the monitoring and control platform. XiO Cloud has been in market for 5 years and has been adopted in some of the largest organizations on the planet. And it's built into 4 pillars: remote support, maintenance of operational standards, data and insights, and lifecycle management. So if we talk about remote support, this is key to a lot of our clients' requirements at the moment. Event-based alerts from a severity hierarchy, emails, SMSs, or even integration into ServiceNow, full duplex integration. And devices can be remotely controlled from anywhere in the world. One aspect of XiO Cloud which has been critical to success has been the ability for us to actually screen scrape a touch screen, for example. So if you look at any devices on the Crestron Flex range, our MTR solution, we can actually see and monitor that screen from anywhere. Obviously, XiO Cloud, being a cloud-based tool based in Azure IoT, gives us a capability to be able to look at any of those devices from anywhere in the world. And it's a simple login-based process. But imagine the capability to be able to see what is going on in any MTR-equipped meeting room at anywhere in the world. And this is really what we've been at market doing for a number of years now. So the screen scraping capability of MTR has been very, very incredibly well received, and it's been critical to management of large fleets of MTRs. So maintaining operational standards of your AV and MTR fleet. So imagine a single dashboard to see device licenses, firmware versions. That's so critical in today's cybersecurity world. Control software code, management of complex spaces. So not just seeing how a small MTR space is working and seeing whether or not that device is switched on or off, but being able to actually manage the control code from, say, for example, a combining meeting room or something like a boardroom or something similar. So iterative updates of control code, versioning, and those type of things can be managed in the cloud and rolled out as standard as you go across spaces. And it's completely scalable in order to do that. And we're providing you the information to inform you of usage and anticipate the needs for future updates and device management. Enhanced insights. Sorry, manage device life cycles. Apologies, jumping ahead. In a standards-based meeting room fleet, the requirement to remotely manage and deploy at scale by policy and by room and at any size or campus. Firmware management can be automated as well as scheduling device features such as power and settings. So this has been very critical as clients roll out a huge amount of technology that's their support teams have been leveraging XiO Cloud in order that they can actually understand what's going on. They can understand whether or not these devices are actually functioning. But also, as we start to see generation 2 and sometimes even generation 3 of Crestron Flex solutions coming out and our clients actually upgrading as they go and having multiple sites, as we often do with the clients that we work with, sometimes we might see that some clients have rolled out hardware 2 to 3 years ago and now they're rolling out on other sites. So it's critical to understand where those devices are, how much they've been used, any sort of issues that we might sort of be seeing on the way. We see a lot of clients doing event scheduling with screens and solutions in their environments and those type of things as well. And enhanced insights. So XiO Cloud connects information from thousands of devices globally to provide data for integrated dashboards within the platform or to other platforms via APIs. And we'll talk a little bit more about APIs in a second, but users can gain understanding of device usage, even down to the details of button pushes on those devices, connection types, frequency of use, spaces, frequency of use of features and frequency of use of hardware. So to dive into that a little bit, if, for example, you've got a space that's actually utilizing, say, a wireless presentation capability, but also a cable, we can report on how often that cable was plugged in. We can report on whether or not that device has jumped offline, whether or not we're seeing devices not connecting on reboots and those type of things. Fairly critical functional systems that can then send alerts and report on that in a graphical manner. So there's a graphical engine built into XiO Cloud, which enables you to do that. But we're also seeing a lot of our clients integrate XiO Cloud into other monitoring platforms and even to derive that data via APIs into things like Power BI. And of course, it's all built on a single platform. And it's an so Crestron has obviously been has built XiO Cloud on the Azure IoT platform with Microsoft, and obviously the power of that, to sort of explain the obvious, really, is that a lot of organisations have adopted Azure technologies, and so it's a very simple task to be able to put XiO Cloud into an environment because we're utilising the same connectors and the same technology and security protocols that will already be in use. It's native to all Crestron products and many third-party devices, which we'll come to in a second, and it can scale to your needs. It has been shown to significantly reduce the cost of managing a meeting room and a workplace technology fleet, and it's been adopted by some of the largest organisations on the planet, and it scales to any location or requirement. So we already have some big global clients utilising this across multiple countries, multiple buildings, and multiple campuses. And again, it's secure enough for any organisation. Governments, banks, are all utilising this at the moment, and we have a dedicated team that's out of the US that actually deals with the cybersecurity elements in order to assist organisations in utilising XiO Cloud and ensuring that that we meet the needs of their security. But what about non-native? So when we talk about non-native, we're talking about non-Crestron hardware, and we're talking about the ability for us as a platform to monitor third-party devices. This is something which was always conceived at launch, and we're very glad to say that now the Crestron XiO Cloud Gateway has been critical to us achieving that. Unfortunately, there is, as we said, there is a tendency in our industry to mix and match brands with little to no consideration for support. And sometimes that's deliberate because people want to be able to sell service contracts, but often our clients are looking for a single dashboard to be able to utilize. So Crestron's legacy of a control system manufacturer means that we've been communicating with third-party hardware for a long time. The cloud gateway consumes a single license but provides access to third-party devices on the network. And this can be codecs, BMS, lighting systems, really anything you wish to monitor. Indeed, we've had some clients even monitoring things like printers because they can. It's a zero-cost piece of software, and it is exclusively available from us. And it's simple to deploy and manage, and it's actually built on our virtual control platform. So we are providing this as a free addition to XiO Cloud. So we can see all devices. Native devices from Crestron are fully monitorable and controllable. Our XiO connected partners have built Crestron's XiO SDK into their hardware to enable native connectivity. But the inclusion of XiO Cloud Gateway allows any devices to be monitored by Crestron drivers. And these are authored by our engineers to control commonly found devices in room, for example, projectors, displays, and the like. But also utilizing things like SNMP traps, or even something as simple as network ping can actually connect into XiO Cloud to enable us to actually report and monitor status on of that. When we talk about the capabilities amongst third-party manufacturers, obviously at the top there, we've got the native Crestron, which allows us to do pretty much everything in that environment because it's built in and it's baked into everything that we do. And we actually see XiO Cloud as being a critical part of everything that we do going forward. XiO Cloud connected products will also give a native connection for monitoring and control. And there's some brands here, mostly display manufacturers, but we've also got some power controllers as well in there as well. And that list is growing. And these organizations on the screen have baked in Crestron software into their devices to allow us to be able to monitor and control those devices. Even some of them, big shout out to Sony as well, have actually done some incredible work to actually bring to a level that's almost at a native level as well. So we're controlling things like firmware, deployments and those type of things as well. So truly we're at a point now where we can actually have a very simple basic meeting room with every device can actually be monitorable. So we're now no longer in a point where there's some sort of black holes in there that we can't monitor. And the cloud management portal. So I'll come to that in a second. We'll talk about the API. Sorry, we've done extensive work on making the API accessible, of course. So the idea behind the API is that we kind of understand that we can certainly package up a platform to monitor control, but there will always be a requirement to take that a little bit further. So referencing a large professional services firm that we're working with in Australia at the moment, they're utilizing XiO Cloud to monitor and control all of their fleet across multiple sites. But they're engaging parties to integrate into that. So they're building dashboards and they're building alerting systems, and they're integrating that into their IT monitoring platform to enable them to see what's happening there. So it's a really quite critical element that allows us to do a little bit more if clients want us to do that, but still retaining that out-the-box functionality about setting up to monitor your workplace. We'll show you a glimpse of what can be achieved through the API connectivity in a second as well, because one of our developers has actually given us a bit of a glimpse into the future as well. The Cloud Management Portal is a fairly new feature, but it's quite a powerful feature. It allows either for an organization to allocate the management of their devices to a third party. So in this scenario, large company, large organization across multiple sites can allocate service partners A, B, and C to be able to manage certain sites and certain types of rooms. That means that the login they will get into XiO Cloud will only give them access to certain parts of that tenancy. And we can even define what they can do within that tenancy. So it might just be a view, or it might be a capability to upgrade settings, or it might be a capability to upgrade firmware and those type of things. And we can allocate that per location, per site, even per device, if we want to do that for a third party organization to manage that. Additionally to that, we can actually also utilize the capability for management organizations to be able to see multiple organizations that they manage within XiO Cloud. So in this scenario, a large service provider, network provider, who can actually provide service to a number of clients and view all of those status, all the status of those devices through a single dashboard as well. So 4 to 5 different organizations that they're managing can be viewed for a single pane of glass as well. So clearly a very, very powerful tool that can leverage a lot of the capabilities in that environment. So a bit of new innovations. XiO is constantly evolving, and we'll keep seeing updates automatically provisioned as you would expect from a cloud product. We're increasing visibility to health and room status. We're working towards 100% coverage to XiO Cloud Gateway updates. We're increasing XiO's third-party partnerships to more manufacturers, and that list keeps on growing. We're some very exciting announcements coming along soon. There'll be more inbuilt automation and logic and control native to the platform to further minimize room complexity and remove the requirement for control systems. So in that way, we can have a moderately basic meeting room that can actually have some control and macro logic to that. So for example, being able to walk into a room and touch a button, typically that would need a control system or something similar, but now we're able to automate that through XiO Cloud. Quite a powerful tool, certainly at scale, as you can imagine. And we're working on some amazing innovations for data monitoring and visualizations for improved dashboards. One of those innovations is related to space utilization. With the release of our desk scheduling solutions, XiO becomes a central dashboard to understand the space utilization alongside in-room hardware. This will increase the measurability and inform businesses to increase productivity and maximize real estate ROI. As many of you will understand, of course, that understanding how environments are being used and getting some real data on those environments is fairly critical. Most of the organizations that we're talking to are very keen to understand how their devices are being used, how to measure the ROI on those devices, and even feed that information into their space management systems to enable them to understand when people are coming into the office, how they're using the hardware, what floors are being used, and all of this information. And so the requirement to further qualify our solution is really quite powerful. And simplified deployments. So really, we've been baking in XiO deployments capabilities into devices for a long time now, and typically devices like AirMedia and DM and MBX have been critically configurable and controllable by all of that. But now we're at the point where, for example, with desk scheduling solutions, I can't quite say that, but we're seeing that XiO is fairly critical to that, because of course, when you're provisioning scheduling to up to thousands and thousands of desks globally, it is simply not possible to be able to go and configure every single device. So XiO becomes the center of that configuration journey, and so the deployments en masse of scheduling solutions, MCRs, to organizations is a key requirement in today's world. A single pane of glass for all your technology monitoring needs. It's not just a pipe dream, it is now possible utilizing XiO Cloud from Crestron. So I'm very lucky to be able to show a couple of things here that's sort of freshly released from some of our partners. Our partner programming community has really taken on XiO Cloud and our virtual control platform to do some very clever things. Innomates, an Australian-built technology management organisation that manages tens of thousands of rooms globally, and they have shared with me today some updates from them. With the enterprise AV landscape evolving at a pace faster than we've ever seen, truly dynamic dashboards offer us the ability to adapt in real time. Whether it's a minor tweak or a major adjustment, the dashboards can ensure our AV systems are not just responsive, but truly personalized, even predictive. Innomate dynamic dashboards are not about building from scratch, but rather enhancing what's already there. And by integrating with the existing AV systems, we can create a more intuitive and cohesive experience, setting a new standard for efficiency and responsiveness. User type personalization. We're asking who are we serving, whether it's an engineer or a support team or an educator. And understanding our clients' distinct profiles enables us to craft AV and collaboration platform experiences that resonate, making our technology not just functional, but truly engaging. It's not just about what we present, but how we present it. With user type personalization, we tailor the entire experience to align with individual roles and requirements, turning ordinary interactions into extraordinary experiences. And with the emergence of AI applications like Copilot becoming more commonplace across the enterprise landscape, enabling predictive real-time self-service, we're quickly shifting towards a truly single platform experience as the norm. So thank you for listening. A brief but hopefully informative session about XiO Cloud. We urge you to explore more. Come down and see us on the stand. We have XiO Cloud being shown on the stand alongside some of our new solutions as well. This QR code will take you to an XiO landing page, which will allow you to download a fully featured 60-day license for 10 rooms, which will allow you to experiment with XiO Cloud in your own time. But please reach out to myself, any of the Crestron team, come down and see us on the Integrate stand, and please talk to us about your requirements. Thank you for listening.